The Story of Babar, the Little Elephant, by Jean de Brunhoff. In the great forest, a little elephant was born. His name was Babar. His mother loved him dearly and used to rock him to sleep with her trunk, singing to him softly the while. Babar grew fast. Soon he was playing with the other baby elephants. He was one of the nicest of them. Look at him digging in the sand with a shell. One day, Babar was having a lovely ride on his mother's back when a cruel hunter, hiding behind a bush, shot at them. He killed Babar's mother. The monkey hid himself. The birds flew away, and Babar burst into tears. The hunter ran up to catch poor Babar. Babar was very frightened and ran away from the hunter. After some days, tired and footsore, he came to a town. He was amazed, for it was the first time he had ever seen so many houses. What strange things he saw! Beautiful avenues, motor cars, and motor buses. But what interested Babar most of all was two gentlemen he met in the street. He thought to himself, "What lovely clothes they have got. I wish I could have some too, but how can I get them?" Luckily, he was seen by a very rich old lady who understood little elephants and knew at once that he was longing for a smart suit. She loved making others happy, so she gave him her purse. "Thank you, madame," said Babar. Without wasting a moment, Babar went into a big shop. He got into the lift. It was such fun, going up and down in this jolly little box. Then he went 10 times to the very top, and 10 times down again to the bottom. He was going up once more when the lift boy said to him, "Sir, this is not a toy. You must get out now and buy what you want. Look, here is the shop walker." Then he bought a shirt, collar, and tie, and a suit in a delightful green color. Next, a lovely bowler hat, and finally shoes and spats. Babar was so pleased with his purchases and satisfied with his appearance that he paid a visit to the photographer. And here is his photograph. Babar went to dinner with his friend, the old lady. She too thought he looked very smart in his new suit. After dinner, he was so tired that he went early to sleep. Babar made his home in the old lady's house. Every morning they did their exercises together, and then Babar had his bath. Every day he drove out in the car that the old lady had bought him. She gave him everything that he wanted. A learned professor gave him lessons. Babar was very attentive and always gave the right answer. He was a most promising pupil. In the evenings after dinner, he told the old lady's friends all about his life in the great forest. And yet, Babar was not altogether happy. He could no longer play about in the great forest with his little cousins and his friends the monkeys. He often gazed out of the window, dreaming of his childhood, and when he thought of his dear mother, he used to cry. 2 years passed by. One day he was out for a walk when he met 2 little elephants with no clothes on. "Why, here are Arthur and Celeste, my 2 little cousins," he cried in amazement to the old lady. Babar hugged Arthur and Celeste and took them to buy some lovely clothes. Next he took them to a tea shop where they had some delicious cakes. Meanwhile, in the great forest, all the elephants were searching for Arthur and Celeste, and their mothers grew more and more anxious. Luckily, an old bird flying over the town had spied them and hurried back to tell the elephants. The mothers went to the town to fetch Arthur and Celeste. They were very glad when they found them, but they scolded them all the same for having run away. Babar made up his mind to return to the great forest with Arthur and Celeste and their mother. The old lady helped him to pack. When everything was ready for the journey, Babar kissed his old friend goodbye. If he had not been so sorry to leave her, he would have been delighted to go home. He promised to come back to her and never forget her. Off they went. There was no room for the mother elephants in the car, So they ran behind, lifting up their trunks so as not to breathe in the dust. The old lady was left alone, sadly thinking, "When shall I see my little Babar again?" Alas, that very day the king of the elephants had eaten a bad mushroom. It had poisoned him. He had been very ill and then had died. It was a terrible misfortune. After his funeral, the oldest elephants met together to choose a new king. Just at that moment they heard a noise and turned around. What a wonderful sight they saw! It was Babar arriving in his car, with all the elephants running and shouting, here they are, they have come back. Hello, Babar, hello, Arthur, hello, Celeste. What lovely clothes, what a beautiful car." Then Cornelius, the oldest elephant of all, said in his quavering voice, "My dear friends, we must have a new king. Why not choose Babar? He has come back from the town, where he has lived among men and learnt much. Let us offer him the crown." All the elephants thought that Cornelius had spoken wisely, and they listened eagerly to hear what Babar would say. "I thank you all," said Babar, "but before accepting the crown, I must tell you that on our journey in the car, Celeste and I got engaged to be married. If I become your king, she will be your queen." "Long live Queen Celeste! Long live King Babar!" the elephants shouted with one voice. And that was how Babar became king. "Cornelius," said Babar, "you have such good ideas that I shall make you a general, and when I get my crown, I will give you my hat. In a week's time, I am going to marry Celeste. We will give a grand party to celebrate our marriage and our coronation." And Babar asked the birds to take invitations to all the animals, and he told the dromedary to go to the town to buy him some fine wedding clothes. The guests began to arrive. The dromedary brought the clothes just in time for the ceremony. After the wedding and the coronation, everyone danced merrily. The party was over, night fell, and the stars came out. The hearts of King Babar and Queen Celeste were filled with happy dreams. Then all the world slept. The guests had gone home, very pleased and very tired after dancing so much. For many a long day they will remember that wonderful ball. Then King Babar and Queen Celeste set out on their honeymoon in a glorious yellow balloon to meet with new adventures. The end.